Hello YouTube, Common Collector here, and today we have a very exciting opening because the new Dimension Force set is out finally, and we are able to crack open a couple boxes. As the box says here, the show goes on. We have new Pendulum support in here, new Performapal support. If you guys can't tell, that's I believe that's kind of where like that tagline comes from, the show goes on. But really exciting. I think that these boxes look beautiful. I was saying it like the second that I got these from the store, I was like looking at these and I'm like, holy cow, like the silver and the gold, oh my gosh, it just looks good. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty cool set. The prices on a lot of this stuff is actually dropping. So, I recommend it when I really do believe it. I think that this is a really good set to actually just get singles on, but still it's nice to get a couple booster boxes so you guys can get your hands on all of the commons and all that stuff. Maybe test your luck to try to pull a Starlight Rare. If you're lucky, maybe we'll get one of those huge mispacked boxes with the 4 Starlight Rares per pack. If you guys have not heard about that, just go ahead and YouTube, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dimension Force Starlight Rare, and you guys will see the video. But anyways, for those of you guys who are new here over on the YouTube, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. I would really appreciate it. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, so would really appreciate your guys' support. Just hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. But anyways, let's get on into this. We have a double box opening of Dimension Force, so 48 packs. Let's get cracking. So we have new Predaplant support in here as well. So we have a Predaplant By Sleep, a Ice Jade Curse into an Amphibious Bergroth MK11. We've seen this a lot with Konami doing this with basically every set. We're usually at least like every other set or so, we're getting a new like retrain of older Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. So we had like back in Burst of Destiny, we had the retrain of Man-Eater Bug. I believe that we had a retrain of like Mahavilo recently, maybe in Dawn of Majesty, or maybe I'm misremembering. But anyways, they've been doing this a lot. I really like it. So Amphibious Bergroth MK11. And then getting on into our first super rare, we have the Therion Cross. Getting on into an X-Exclusion, a Yamato Arachi, a Therion Reaper Fumi, and then the new Predaplant Fusion Monster. This card is so good for the Predaplant deck. It is a Predaplant Ambulo Melodies. I believe I actually said that correctly. So, yeah, 2 Predaplant monsters for the fusion material, and then if this card is fusion summoned, add a Predaplant monster or a Predap spell or trap from your deck, graveyard, or face-up extra deck to your hand. Holy cow, that's like actually pretty crazy. So really nice just to be able to get whatever card you need, like getting a monster spell or trap. Like, yes, that's like amazing support. So here we have a Therion Duke Yule, a Warrock Medium, new Warrock support, basically helping you to negate the effects of all of your opponent's monsters, which is really crazy. So if you have a level 7 or higher Warrock monster, during the main phase, neither player can activate the effects of monsters on the field. That's pretty darn crazy. So then we're going to move on into a Devouring Sarcophagus, a Scareclaw alternative, and then a Libromancer realized. So another thing that Konami just always does is that they give you sort of the second wave of support for stuff, whichever new archetypes they brought out in the last core set. So we have Libromancer as well as what's the other one? So we also have Scareclaws in the set, which is probably what I'm most excited about. But yeah, we have the Libromancers and the Dynamis, as well as the Ice Jades getting new support in here. So really cool. Just to sort of get those archetypes more flushed out. I believe Ice Jades have actually been a while around ever since Burst of Destiny, but they still get a couple new cards. We have here a Vivid Tale where you guys can actually see IP Masquerena zipping around on her little motorcycle there, into a Battle Guard Cadet, and then a Weather Painter Moonbow. Oh my gosh, this is really cool. I definitely wanted to get my hands on a couple copies of this. This is a ultra rare, the new Weather Painter Link monster for the Weather Painter deck. This card is so good for the strategy, just to be able to help, just really to help round out the deck. I started playing around with the Weather Painters a couple months ago. Did a deck profile, and then when I saw the new support that came out, I was like, yes, this is what the deck needed. I believe that the spell card is actually what really helped turns around the deck, but this is also another really cool card that I want to sort of bring to light. We have the Divine Dragon Titano Makai, or however you say it. It kind of looks like five-headed dragon. But this card is so cool. I just gotta say, just for its card design. So basically with this card, its last effect lets you mill cards from the top of your deck to your graveyard equal to the number of dragon monsters that you control. So that is during the end phase. And that kind of ties in with its other effects. So with this card, you can banish 3 copies of this card from your field and or graveyard. And then including this card on the field, obviously, because you can only play 3 copies per deck. So you have to have the other 2 on the field and or in the graveyard. Generally, they're probably just going to be in the graveyard. And then you can destroy all cards that your opponent controls. All cards your opponent controls, like, that's actually really cool. This card is, you know, it's a little bit silly. It's a little bit gimmicky. You could probably just play other cards that help to destroy other things. But overall, I think that this card is really cool, and I just really like the card design. Hopefully someone will find a way to, like, break this and make this card really, really good. Then we're going to get on into a Therion stand-up, another of the MK11, and then a Velon Hydra. I believe you're supposed to be sort of pronouncing this like Villain Hydra, which is also kind of cool. I like when they do the puns. And then we have a Libromancer Mist Girl. The Libromancers also have a new ritual spell in this set as well. So maybe we'll end up seeing that. I believe it's just a super rare. Besides that, obviously, we got to talk about the Therions. Therions are pretty crazy. People are really excited about that. And like I was saying about like the prices, like the Therion King, I believe is sitting at like $45-$50 or something right now. And that's like still pre-sale kind of prices. So overall, like I think that this is just a really good set to buy singles on, because nothing is terribly expensive. There's a pretty big drop off after that. Then we're going to get on into a Mad Mauler, a Parasomnia Pillow, and then a Therion Charge. A Scareclaw Acro for our next of the commons. I'm just sort of excited for the Scareclaws. I really like it. Looks like a cool deck. And then also Materiactors get a new card. I believe Materiactors, there was 2 cards that were released back in Burst of Destiny, and then like we just didn't get anything else. So like now that we're actually seeing 1 more card for the archetype is kind of funny. A Reverse Jar, which is a new jar card, which is also really cool. Just always fun when we get a new jar card for the game. So it helps flip all of your as many monsters on the field as possible to face down defense, and then also bounces spell and traps up to into the hand, and then each player can set spell and traps from their hand up to the number of the cards that were returned to the hand. So that's kind of cool, just to help reset like spell and trap cards. Maybe you want maybe you like have a Fire Formation Tenki on the field, and then you want to like bounce it to your hand so you can like reactivate it again, which would be kind of cool. Then we have a Ichikuru's Ledger Book, a Predaplant Triantis. Oh boy! And then we got a Beyond the Pendulum for we got our first secret rare here. That kind of shocked me. I was to be honest, this card looks really pretty here in person. That is really nice. Beyond the Pendulum. All you Pendulum players, eat your heart out. This is great support for you guys, because now you have your replacement for losing Electromite, probably eternally. I believe that like the reason why Konami gave us Beyond the Pendulum is because they're like, yeah, Electromite's too good and we're not going to errata him, so you guys just get Beyond the Pendulum and then just live with that. Maybe someday, like when Power Creep hits, maybe Electromite can get unbanned, but I feel like over the years Electromite will just get more broken. But I could be wrong. But here we have a copy of Crow Tengu, another copy of the Ledger Book, a Heroic Channeler Knuckle Sword, and then into a Libromancer Prevented. Again, just sort of some new Libromancer support. Also, I kind of want to go over this card here. Looks like we've got a new Chain card, so this card gets like extra effects depending on where it is in a chain link, which is kind of cool. Then let's scooch on to our next pack. We still should have 1 more ultra rare for this side. So we have a General Probe, which sounds disgusting, by the way. We have a Predaplant Blyslip, a Therion Bull-Ain into a backup team, and then a Motor Frenzy. Okay, another copy of the new Predaplant Fusion card, and then just some other commons. Getting on then into another copy of the Warrock Medium. Just really like see it. Like I'm excited that Warrock's got a little bit more support. It's really similar to Ursa Arctics, where like Ursa Arctics really aren't that great of a deck, but they got that really broken spell card, which it's like when the deck pops off, it pops off. So it's just really funny that like they're giving this really broken spell card to a horrible deck. Then getting on into a Libromancer Displaced for our final ultra rare for this side here. Then getting on into a Scareclaw Astra, really hoping maybe for my next secret rare to pull the Scareclaw Link 3 monster. We still do have a whole other box as well. So then we're going to get on into a Sylvan Dancepion. Okay. All right, nothing too crazy there in that pack, but overall, yeah, also there's a little bit of new like plant Sylvan support. There's also a plant monster for the Therion deck as well. So Sun Avalon players are getting really excited about that. I need to start picking that deck back up so I can test around with some things. And then getting on into an Immortal Dragon, probably the most hyped super rare of the set. Back in the previous set in Battle of Chaos, we had the Dark Charmer. This card is nowhere near probably as good as Dark Charmer, but still, I would say that this is like it, where it's the most hyped super rare of the set. It is a Synchro Tuner zombie monster. Really good overall. People are pretty darn excited about that. I don't know why I'm not pulling any of the good super rares off to the side. Also, I did not pull my I just like pulling some things out so you guys got things to look at. So then we're going to move on into another copy of the Vivid Tale, and then finishing this side off with a Chow Sai, the Ghost Stopper. Okay. This card looks actually really cool, really old. Like, I could have seen this card being printed, like, way back in the days. I'm trying to think of, like, I feel like that reminds me of, like, Jowgen or just some of the older artwork. I like when Konami does that. They kind of get back to, like, their older style of artworks. Then we're going to get on into a Scareclaw Sklash, which Sklash is just the weirdest word to ever say. It's a combination of clash and scratch, or scratch, or scare. I don't know. It just Sklash. It just sounds weird. Sklash. All right, then we are going to be moving on into a Heroic Champion Yarngreifer. Possibly a Battle Guard Cadet. Also just like another kind of retrain card, sort of along with like the Swamp Battle Guard, old, very old cards. And then getting on into a Scareclaw Arrival. All right, seeing lots of Scareclaws, and I am not complaining. I definitely want to start putting that deck together. That's probably going to be the first one of these archetypes and stuff that I end up putting together. A Scareclaw alternative here, a Devouring Sarcophagus, and then into a Heroic Champion Clavislash. Why do they give these cards just such weird darn names? We're just going to move on from that. All right. We have a good chunk of packs left in this first box. Also, guys, just don't forget that we have that second box coming up here. And then we have a Exo Sisters Magnifica. Okay, so yeah, also Exo Sisters are getting pretty darn hyped up. They get new support in this set. And just overall, like they're doing fairly well for a deck that people weren't really giving enough credit to. Then we're going to get on into a Knuckle Sword again, a Warrock Medium, and then into a Yakshu, the Lord of Light, or of Eight Thunders. Wow, that is just that is a card. That is a card right there. Okay, that looks really cool. I like that one. I have no idea what it does. Maybe we could read it all together. It is a worm monster, so new worm support. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing one level or rank 8 monster from your graveyard. Target one level 8 or rank Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, or XZ monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then apply the following effect depending on the type of the card that was returned. A Ritual or Fusion, you get to draw 1 card, or a Synchro or XZ, this card gains 1,000 attack. So you could technically use this card in Sword Soul, and then like you'd be able to, special summon this card out by banishing one of your Synchro monsters from the graveyard, and then you would be able to use this as like a big beater. There's probably better options, but overall, like since we did lose our arch nemesis Protoss, that would honestly not be like a bad like one of, which would be searchable through a lot of stuff. So kind of a cool card. If you were, and also I guess if you were playing like fusions, like if you were playing the DPE package and then like your DPE is just chilling in the graveyard, you could bounce it back to your extra deck in order to draw 1 card. So that would actually be kind of interesting. Here we have then a Therion Stand-Up, another of the MK11, and then getting on into a Patsketel Couverture. This card looks so nice in the Starlight Rare. For those of you guys who have not seen any of the videos or pictures of Starlight Rare pulls, this card just looks absolutely crazy with like all of the purple and stuff in it. Highly recommend that you guys pull that one. Then we are going to scooch on. We still have, we should still have one more Ultra, and then our secret rare in this side. We have another of the Divine Dragon, a Therion Dukiel, and then into a Libramancer Fire for our next of these secret rares. The artwork on this card is also just really silly. Like, he's just a schoolboy. This is like Joey Wheeler if he was just a little bit more of a punk, but also like the glimmer on that secret rare, I am not complaining about that. That looks really, really nice. We will be pulling him off to the side, and now that we've gotten into our secret rare, we can speed this process up just a little bit here. So we are going to be getting on into a weather forecast. Nice, we got also that other weather support. So here, we're going to read through this card right now, just to sort of show how broken this stuff is. So when this card is activated, place a weather spell or trap from your deck face up into your spell and trap zone. Already really good for the deck because the weather painters like having their spell and traps on the field. Then you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. If you link summon a weather link monster, you can also use face-up weather cards in your spell and trap zone as monsters for the link summon. Holy cow, that is just already broken right there. And then during your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves normal summon one weather monster from your hand. So it does just give you that additional normal summon. So like there is a level 5 in the deck, and then also like it's like just getting enough of your spell and traps out on the field, which is actually the more broken part of the deck. In general, like the monsters don't do a whole lot, but the spell and traps are what actually give them really, really good broken effects. So honestly, this card just really helps flip the deck around so much. Yeah, when that card got announced, so darn excited, to be honest. Then we're going to get on into a Navy Dragon mech. Also, this is a retrain of the Vermilion Mech Dragon, if I'm saying that name correctly. I believe that's how the name is sequenced, or Vermilion Dragon Mech. That probably is how it's actually named. But instead of destroying cards on the field, you're able to negate them, which is kind of cool. Then getting on, nice! Our final ultra rare is going to be the Starving Venom Predapower Fusion Dragon. This card is always treated as a Predaplant card, which is just really cool that like Predaplants are now actually like officially like fused in with the Starving Venom cards, because ever since like Predaplants and the Starving Venom have been around, like they've been kind of like together like as super poly targets and stuff, and so it's just nice that they are like officially like kind of together. Like Konami has recognized like, okay, if you're playing Predaplants, you're also playing Starving Venom, so like let's just kind of like put them together, and it just makes sense, and it's like it's so right. So then we're gonna get on into a Performapal Gentrude for our next of these supers, and then we do have one final pack left in this box, which is going to get us into a branded banishment for our final of these super rares. So really happy with that first box. Let's get on into the second one. So what else are we looking to pull here? We still have not seen that Link 3 of the Scareclaw deck, so really hoping to find that one. Basically, it's an Abyss Dweller for the deck, but you know, an Abyss Dweller in a Link 3, or not Abyss Dweller, Baguska in a Link 3 monster, just really cool, and like in an archetype, which is also just really nice, just to have sort of that archetype support, and just to be able to, you know, I would say almost a Link 3 nowadays is easier to go into than a rank 4, which is a little bit crazy. Then we're going to go on into a backup team, a Battle Guard Cadet, a Scareclaw Bellone, and then into a Performapal Ladienge. All right, and we have sort of kind of gone over all of the commons and stuff that I wanted to highlight. This video is already about 20 minutes long, so we are going to just try to speed this up and get into a Curse of Dragon, the Magical Knight Dragon. Konami didn't think that we got enough Curse of Dragon support in the previous sets like Rise of the Duelist, so they gave us some more, but I ain't going to complain because legacy support, baby, we like it. Then getting on into the next pack, what are we going to be getting here? A Predaplant Triantis to start off, and getting on into a Red Eyes Zombie Dragon Lord. Very cool. Definitely like seeing that card. I was mentioning earlier, this is just another nice, really good support card for the zombie strategy, because with this card, during your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you're able to target a zombie monster in your graveyard, except for this card, and then special summon it, which if you guys are playing with zombies, obviously they like special summoning stuff from the graveyard, so it is just so good. And then if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish a zombie you control and then special summon this card. So if this card ends up hitting the graveyard and then its effects like are all offline, then you can bring this card back to the field by getting rid of a zombie, and then you're just able to revive other stuff. So it's just really cool to be able to do that with this card. And then that is going to be it for that pack. That card is so good. Oh my god. I guess like the main struggle is just getting on into it with the zombie deck, but overall getting on into like a synchro synchro 8 or synchro 7 it is maybe. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, people, let's be honest. Then we're gonna get on into a Libromancer Bonded. This is the ritual spell for the Libromancer deck that I was alluding to earlier. Seeing a pretty good dispersal overall in these super rares and stuff. Still have not doubled up on any ultras or anything, so that's good as well. Then let's get on into a Scareclaw Splash once again. And wrapping it up on there, let's get on into the next pack. What else? I can't really think of what are other good ultras in this set. You know, I'd be down for another of the Weather Painter cards, so let's see what we can get going. We got the Scareclaw Tri-Heart. This card is so darn good. So this card requires 3 effect monsters, must be link summoned if all face-up monsters on the field are, all face-up monsters are changed to defense position while this card is on the field. Obviously, link monsters cannot be changed to defense, but all of the other cards will be. And then this card is unaffected by the activated effects of defense position monsters, which all of your opponent's monsters should now be in defense position while this is on the field. And then also once per turn, if this card is in the extra monster zone, target 1 level 3 Scareclaw monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then if you do, you add 1 Scareclaw monster from your deck to your hand, and then also you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for Scareclaws. But, you know, adding 2 cards to your hand feels pretty good, man. Feels pretty good. I definitely like seeing that. You know, now everything else, you know, if we get ourselves like a Therion or something, you know, the Therion King, that's just going to be icing on the cake. So here we have a Zombie Reborn for our next of these supers. Also, I just got to say, I love the artwork on this card. It is so good looking. It's, you know, it's like the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, but just a little bit better. It's, you know, it's more Yu-Gi-Oh-y. And then we're going to get on into an Odd Eyes Wing Dragon, sort of blending around that Odd Eyes and Crystal Wing sort of strategies. Also, I just have not really poked around on the Symphonic Warrior support that is in this set. Not that I just like don't have anything to say about it, but that is the thing. I just don't know anything about Symphonic Warriors. I've never played them. So then we're going to move on into a Primitive Planet Rhizophobia for the Scareclaw archetype. Sorry, I am not, oh my gosh, I am just not well versed enough with the Scareclaw archetype yet, or just like the names of the cards in the set. Konami just likes throwing me curveballs every time when they name these cards just weird things. We're going to get on into a Scareclaw Balone. And going on into a Yakshu, the Lord of 8 Thunders once again. Just, I like this card. This card just looks cool. I'm gonna try that in my Sword Souls maybe. You know, honestly, playing this in tandem with a DPE does not sound that bad. Like your DPE engine gets shut off. Cool, draw a card and start over, and then you get to draw off of your Celestial. Still feels pretty good, man. So we have here a Divine Dragon Titona Amakai, once again, a General Probe, a Reverse Jar, a Symphonic Warrior DJJ, and then a Heroic Champion Clavislush. And that is going to wrap it up for that pack. We have seen both Ultra Rares for this side, yes. So we're going to get on now into a Knuckle Sword, another of the Heroic Champion, a Cadet, and then into a Heroic Envoy. Lots of the Heroic support in here as well. I was not really aware of that either. But that is going to do it for that first side. So of the second boxes, we are now on the final side. So thank you guys again, everybody, for watching. Just sort of want to clarify that again. Just really appreciate all of the support through the last videos and whatnot. So it's been a really good time. A lot of really cool videos as of late and hitting that 2,000 subscriber mark. We're going to get on into another of the Navy Dragon mech. But Also, again, if you guys are new over here, make sure to slap that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. We have then here a Parasomnia Pillow, a Triantis, and then getting into a Weather Painter, the Weather Forecast. Once again, definitely like seeing that. Then getting on into a Warrock Medium. And wrapping up this pack with a Skeletal Dragon Felgrand. This artwork just looks intense. Definitely like that as well. Gosh, just mad zombie support all throughout this this set. This is overall still just a really cool set. Really liking opening this. So we have here a Mad Mauler, a General Probe, and then getting into a Padiscal Curvature once again. All right, good handful of packs here left. We have ourselves another of the Divine Dragon, and then going into a Performapal Gentrude once again. All right. Then we have another copy of the Divine Dragon, and then going into a Therion Lily Borea. Oh man, I saw the Therion and I got excited. So that is going to do it for probably our final secret rare there. But yeah, this is the new card that all of the Sylvan players are really excited about. So really, still very cool, very excited to be picking that card up as well. Then let's keep scooting along here. We have ourselves a backup team, and then into a branded Banishment. I haven't said it yet. I didn't want to curse myself, but we do still have that chance of that Starlight Rare. We got ourselves 5 packs left of Dimension Force. Let's see what we can rip out of here. We have ourselves a Scareclaw Arrival once again. Alrighty. Overall, I'm just happy that we got ourselves that Scareclaw Tryhard. That is just really awesome. And also, I should not be, downgrading the effect that we pulled the Beyond the Pendulum as well. That card has been so hyped ever since that got announced. Getting on then into a Noah Punk Deer Note. This card is also pretty darn hyped. I mean, like, punks are just overall a really good archetype. People splashing it in all over Virtual Worlds and a couple other decks here and there. People are even playing it in Phantom Knights and all that stuff. Really crazy that like even Phantom Knights are just sort of like splashing that card around. Keeping moving on here, we are going to get on into a Changshi the Spirado. And 2 packs left here of Dimension Force. Let's see what we can wrap up this video with. We have another copy of the Ledger Book, and then into an extra Pendulum. This is a big card that I want to talk about, which we have not talked about yet, but this card is actually pretty darn cracked. So with this card, during the main phase, you are able to Pendulum Summon an additional time, as long as you are Pendulum Summoning from the extra deck. Which is just crazy. So like you get 2 Pendulum Summons. So like Pendulum Summon is already cracked enough, but then if you're able to set up like a Link 3 or something, and you still have like 3 monsters on top of your extra deck, you can just go ahead and Pendulum Summon them. This card will someday, I can see ending up on the ban list, because I can just sort of see a deck eventually breaking that, splashing it in, or if I'm sure that there's definitely ways to search for it. So I don't know, that card I'm a little bit skeptical on, but overall it is still a really cool card. Then we're going to get on into a Symphonic Warrior DJJ, a backup team, a Blight's Blip, an Ice Jade Curse, and then an Immortal Dragon to finish off this booster box. Overall, gotta say, really happy with how these 2 boxes turned out. There is going to be a opening over on the Patreon, so I'm really excited to be cracking that open also pretty soon. So overall, really happy. We got the weather support that I needed. We got ourselves that 1 copy of the Scareclaw Tryhard. And then we got just tons of the zombie support is also really cool. Just to sort of see these zombies getting even more flushed out. And it's already just such a good, strong strategy. So thank you guys so much for joining over here on the YouTube. Really appreciate it. Really hope you guys are enjoying the videos as of late. I feel like there's been a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool news with the ban list and all that stuff. So I'm trying to put out as many of the updates as I can as I'm going along here. So thank you guys so much for your support. Consider checking out the Patreon if you guys want to see any additional openings of this and other products and any other additional videos for your chance to get that additional giveaway entry for the giveaway for Ghosts from the Past. If you guys join any time between now and the end of May, there is that chance to win a free box of Ghosts from the Past. If you guys didn't win the YouTube giveaway, you guys can still do so over on the Patreon and have basically a 1 in 5 chance of doing so. So thank you guys so much for joining over here over on the YouTube. Really appreciate you guys checking this out, and we'll catch you guys for the next opening. Peace.